Let people know that I'm doing some streamy weeny weeny. I don't know if there's anyone actually saying hello or not, but I'll say hello, camper. That's the thing here in the little box. Just posting stuff up on the thingy bob. Hello, viewers. How are you? I hope you're doing well. Notice my camera is at a rakish angle. Like my beard. And why is it sideways? It's irritable. The most fun people I've taught. I did like Eric. Right. I think that's about the only places I know how to post to, really. Off the top of my head. I suppose I could try LinkedIn, but I don't think anyone kind of updates their LinkedIn very quickly. Oh, right. I'm going to sit here and just drink my coffee. I am still wearing my pajamas, even though it's midday, because I've discovered that game developers don't actually do anything except develop games, literally. It's like, oh, is it crunch time? Yes. Work. Okay. Incidentally, I'm colourblind, so I'm well aware that there's a good chance that those two play and quit buttons just there don't actually fit. I'll live. I will live. Oh, nice just to relax. You on a boat ride? Yeah, check my build as well. There it is. Some music and relax. I'll have to get up onto the top of the ship. I'm not going to participate in anything, I'm just going to go save it, I think. Fantastic. By the way, if you're watching this and you have no idea what's going on, this is the current stable release for the wiki. You'll notice that I don't have a cluttered HUD on my screen. The only thing I in fact actually have on the screen, if you're interested in HUDs and interfaces, is I have a tiny dot in the middle, which is there not for the purpose of aiming guns, but just so we know which direction we're looking at. And also on the right, in the very bottom corner, I have a very small non-intrusive health bar, and if needed, there's also a little stamina bar next to it. Anyway, I will do a little practice walkthrough of what you're seeing here for the very few people that are watching. Feel free to ask questions by all means. So up here, very simple flocking going on up there, okay? The idea is just like, oh, birds. Nothing complicated going on there. I was going to put in a more complicated system, but I don't want it to like drag people's computers to their knees. Okay, next. Over there you can see an old unfinished lighthouse. It's maybe it's been wrecked or knocked down. Who knows? There's a mystery going on there. I'm not going to explain it. And just there you can see there are some submerged old houses. Simply just to add character as much as anything, you know. Now, over here, what you're looking at is the Amanda 2. Okay, now this was originally the ship that we went to the island on. And this was, for a year and a bit, that was actually the ship that you came to the island on. But, whenever I set up the physics of the ship, it would either sink immediately, or it would wobble, sink, and then sink properly. Or, most likely, what would happen is it would go twitch, 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 and then shoot off into the horizon. So, in the end, I got fed up with it, because, you know, I did make it work, but to be honest, it wasn't a big enough ship. Certainly not big enough for this prologue here. So I thought, well, what I'll do is, I'll just stick it in the, I'll stick it over here where it flew, basically. And, you know, that way I now understand why game developers put so many, like, little throwbacks, callbacks to it. You see, the Amanda 2 over there was very much, not working, sadly. So they're now on this much bigger ship. Things are, you know, a lot better. Now, with regard to the soundtrack here, the soundtrack was written by 3 different people. So, what you're hearing is actually, let me think now. The guy who wrote this, really good, heavily influenced by David Lynch and 9 Inch Nails, if you want to bounce. Like that. David Lynch himself is classed as a musician, but he does some great music. Anyway, he'd done, I think some of the music for Night in the Woods. And frankly, you know, I saw this work kind of for sale, and I'm not a musician. You don't want to hear me play music. And I was like, this is lovely. So I bought 34 tracks in total, and then started winnowing them down to ones that are going to be useful. And some of them are obviously more suitable than others. So the C is a little bit wobbly, never mind. I'll probably fix that in 33. To be honest, you don't tend to notice it if you move around. It's because of the way that the ship is. You see, it's actually fine when it's going past that cliff. Anyway, yeah, the idea was just to kind of try and time this into what's going on. Then the other thing I did was I also had to get some voices. Now, Malin wasn't a problem. Rob Sharp is so good at doing Malin's voice. It's ridiculous. My computer froze. Oh, I quit. Why do I quit? Curious. I detect a bug. Makes me think it's called an ending sooner than it should have done. Yeah, it's definitely calling a bug sooner than it should have done, which means there's a collision that it's hidden. Okay, so that means I'm going to have to go back into my build file, if you see, my loves. So, thankfully, it's not a big build problem. I think what I'll do is close that down. Be bloody closed. Right, so quick fix. See this is what happens all the flippin' time. I'm glad I noticed it though, because trust me, having the game cut short immediately isn't a good sign at all. No, you don't think he's a real priest at all. Anyway, it is 12 noon. I aim to have this recompiled and fixed for 12:30. And I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to sit here whilst you're watching me and do it, because that's all I do now. Oh, that is really adequate coffee. Yeah, absolutely just coffee. People have been teaching on how to use Unreal Engine often note that I get through an awful lot of coffee. But to be honest, you kind of have to. It makes the brain all wakey. Oh, come on already. This up here in the top left corner, this is Steam slowly loading. And I'm going to have to clear out my depot. Sounds like a weird archaic term, but it bloody well is. I'll just go to my wiki demo and just kill that. Right, so over here we have got some errors that are caused by the third sailor. Sailors are dancing on the dance floor. Yeah, let's just remove all of that. So, and that. The thing is, you see, with the sailors being all hidden all over the bloody place, it's quite hard otherwise. Right, that should do everything. Yep, good. Next. Get demo related. Go to my end screen here. Save selected. Yeah. There should be a nasty monster over here. Can't hide it. Plop. And what I want to do next is I want to go to my level blueprint. Get rid of everything. There we go. Oh yeah, and this bit on the bottom here just vanishes over time. Right. Now, lit. I think there's enough mist in this. Let me have a look. Good night, moon. Fog intensity 0.1. I think I prefer it with a heavy fog. Yeah, that's better. Much better. Okay, so save current. Right then, so all I need to do now is just compile it. So file, package project, build config, Windows. Okay, and off it goes. How? Go output log. There we go. Isn't this exciting? You'll get to see my output log. You can tell everyone, oh, you saw Chris's log. There we are. Okay, so yet again, rather than viewing the excitement, you are now viewing the bloody boring stuff. You get to see things, and I get to have another coffee. Ah. Goodbye, horses. With your clippy cloppy hooves. Clippity cloppity. Right, I need to go to here. There we go. And then here. And then there. Is that the cozy man? Right. There we go. Hello, horses. Bam. Hello, dog. How are you? Oh, did I not put any sweetener? Right, there we go. Look at that. You're watching all the flippin' code compile, eh? That's how a video game's born. Oh, come here, puppy. Come here. Come say hello to the internet. Internet loves puppies, especially teenage one-eyed puppies who appear to be a little bit crusty on their underside, as if they've been up to something during the night, you naughty boy. Eh? Naughty little man. Aren't you a cutie? Oh, I love you. Right, are you going to say hello to people? You big scary guard dog. Guard my studio. Bless you. I may have to sterilise my hand. Okay, right. Build. Okay, so the cook command is completed. Okay, so what it's doing now is it's using the Unreal Pack command and making it into a slightly more compressed file. Isn't that exciting? Yes, it's really exciting. Fucking hell, Chris. Oh, bless you. Well, seems quite lightly. Need to watch Prometheus again. Prometheus is a very good film. It's just you've got to detach your mind and forget that it's an alien film as such, and just remember it's connected to the alien films. And then it's like, yeah, this is good stuff. Well, it looks like they've been playing Neil Patrick Harris to say things. But I'm just browsing shit in the other window. I might have a look at the news, see how scary it is. Wow, that's some boring ass news. Well, you know, utterly shite. Logan Paul's boxing match against Floyd Mayweather. Logan Paul's boxing match against Floyd Mayweather. Boxing has just become such a flipping farce nowadays. I may as well just do wrestling instead. Oh, this is nice coffee. To my viewer who's enjoying watching me drinking my coffee, cheers. Hmm. Hmm. So I'm just reading the news while waiting for this bloody thing to finish. If anyone asks me something, I will of course talk to them. But, you know, this is like being a BBC Radio 3 presenter. And here we are listening to something. Blah, blah, blah. Wow. I like to poke that bear, don't you, the Ukraine? Like, hey, Vladimir Putin, check this out. Alright, let's see what's happening in our boring British news, as mandated by our government. Colin Pitchfork, who murdered 15-year-old girls Linda and Dawn in Leicestershire in the 1980s, can be released from prison. Why can he be released from prison? What's going to happen is someone's going to find him and punch him in the face or stab him. That's what happens. Or he'll just vanish. Actually, no, what normally happens is the police will just give him like a new identity or something. So, there's actually an article here, how the most popular sex scenes in TV drama were filmed. They only get two actors that like money and they kind of smash them together like that. And bam! There, and then the sex scene comes out, I presume. I don't know, I don't watch much television. Oh, see why, can't you? Turns out, like, I used to think 3D was immersive. You know, you'd be doing 3D and you get far too immersed in what's going on. Turns out that's nothing compared to game dev. Oh my word. Oh, look, the Royals produced another new child. I'll give you a clue, right? They've been bred to produce heirs. That's what they do. It is hardly unlikely that they wouldn't have produced one. Here we are, Colin Pitchfork, a double child killer and the first murderer to be convicted using DNA evidence. He spent 33 years in prison. Hmm. Well, I am all for people serving their time and being rehabilitated, to be honest. And 33 years in prison means he has spent the majority of his life in there, and he will be an old fella by now who will be being monitored, I should imagine, quite heavily. Now, whatever your views are on crime and punishment, I do believe that people, if they have served their time, have served their time. So I'll leave it up to you. Now then, this is finished. I'll copy this. I need to put it in a special folder. There. So I'm just copying the 78 files that make up the Wiki's demo into this repository. When I've done that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to execute a little program that will upload this to my repository that I have on Steam. So run the build. There it goes. I'm not going to leave my screen up because it has my username and password to my Steam account on it. I don't think that's a very good idea. So there we go. Even though I do have, what do you call it? Steam Guard, I still don't think it's a very good idea sharing people's passwords. It drives me crazy because basically Steam uses like a command prompt based system, and the problem with that is that, you know, it takes plain text. Anyway, don't worry if you don't understand what I'm talking about. Let's have a look at the wiki demo, just make sure it's working now. As you can see, it's windowed. It remembers.
March the 3rd.
And there's a little voice talking away like me, because that's me.
This morning, leaving Oban at 5
Wibble
a.m.
wobble,
and
wibble
Miles
wobble,
in the
wibble
tower
wobble.
on the way.
See? There we go.
Captain says we're an hour from the block now.
Oh.
And we should get a view of her through the mist at any
Okay,
time.
so this screen's accessed actually twice during the entire game. So this is basically the start off. So this is the same screen as we get at the end. Will you shut up, Chris? But
Time to enjoy the Atlantic in a
the ship's upright and there's nothing else in the scene.
few weeks.
You can see the basic sky running in the background and the water simulation. Water simulation is something I get very, very caught up on. I think water simulation is very, very important. I hate not getting my water sims right. I'm still a little bit perturbed because I really wanted realistic splashes, but realistic splashes equals, you know, people's computers on their knees. So I've got to be careful with that. I keep forgetting sometimes that I'm on a 3070 because of the chip shortage. Not many people are. Anyway, let's go to Wash Ship. Now, it used to be we had the vocal introduction when we came to the ship. You know, it'd be like, oh, this is Bureau 36, etc., etc. But I removed that because, to be honest, I didn't think it was that important. No, it'll be included in a manual eventually anyway, so... The only thing I need to be careful of is there are some trigger boxes in here that probably need a fix in the next session. Right, so I was mentioning before, you see the game doesn't quit now, take me to the end screen. I was mentioning before, one of the things about this game is that the voice acting. Now, I've got professional voice actor Rob Sharp to do Captain Malin, who is not appearing in this episode, okay? But kudos to you, Rob. I love you bits. Been very poorly blessed him with an aneurysm. Is that an aneurysm? Thrombosis. From his second vaccination. Not that it put me off getting my second vaccination. I still got mine, and I really heartily suggest to anyone get their vaccinations. Now then, we've got a few little treats around here that you can find. This book entitled Piloting Boats for Children, which, well, it's a reference that I get. You don't necessarily, and that's not a bad thing. There are various things kind of around the boat, and as I update the demo, because I had to get the demo out in time for this release, so as I update the demo, more stuff will be added to it. But for the time being, you kind of get the point. There are plenty of things to do on here, and plenty of exploration. Now, originally I was going to let people explore the inside of the ship, but the thing about this demo is that I was going to get so pressed for time that it was going to get silly, you know, and I really needed to be able to get this demo out, especially if I want to hit the Steam NXT Festival or Next or whatever it's called. So that's why, you know, at the minute what I'm doing is I'm going to be introducing, you know, updates to the demo on a weekly basis, just like I introduce updates to the actual main game when it comes out on a fortnightly basis, just so that there's going to be plenty more for people to do and plenty more subplots and things like that. Now, I already mentioned what the ship over there was, okay? That's the Amanda 2. Now, don't expect for a second there aren't any bugs in this, okay? Because there are, and there's a lot, I'm sorry. But, you know, we can work together to get through this. And curiously enough, you know, we can investigate all sorts of things if you try hard enough. Anyway, let's go over here. Now, so a little word about the character design for this, because I'm not kicking off any elements of the plot here, so you're probably like, oh, what's he doing? So this is Peter Edwin de Bol. He is a geologist, and we can talk to him. Okay, you'll notice there it said press E to interact. Okay, and we can talk to him. Goodbye. Now, more characters will appear during our story, so, you know, bear with. Oh yeah, the reason the boat's shaking, by the way, is because if the boat was perfectly smooth, well, it's not an electric boat, okay? The whole point is there's smoke pouring out of it. It's, you know, big old ship. So that's why it's like this. I think I'm getting a minor bug with the smoke coming out of there as well, so I'll fix that in the next point release. Okay. But yeah, it's supposed to shake and wobble. Especially now that I've fixed some of the errors we're getting. Now then, through here, you can see I've got a hat. I can look at my hat. Hello, hat. There's things in here that we can look at. But the actual main plot won't kick off until something's happened. Okay, there's an event that happens. Now up there you'll see our geologist has moved up to the, whatever this bit of the ship's called, I completely forget. And really he's up there so that, you know, it ends our interaction with him to a degree. Okay, I don't want us interacting with him after a certain point. So if you haven't interacted with Peter Edwin de Boer, then, you know, that's your business. He will give you a few minor clues to his purpose and what he's doing up here. Now let's go up to the fore of the ship. And in the distance there you can see an island called Connor's Rock. Now then, all of these islands are surrounding the actual rock, and this is all real, you know, real time, okay, real space, real location, etc., etc. We are actually coming up to the real, well, not the real, but the in-game island of the rock, which is based on St. Kilda. Whoa! I hate when it does that. That's a bug that I've got to fix, ignore it. We are nearly at, well, we are heading towards St. Kilda, which is up there. Now it takes a little while to get there, and the journey may need a little bit of tweaking for speed. Initially this boat was going at such a massively fast pace that it just literally slammed into the port at about 70 miles an hour, which seemed like very, very fast. Splat! I wonder what that was. Can't see anything. Mysterious. Now over there you can see there's a sailor appeared. So, you know, it must be time for the sailors to appear. Needless to say, we can go and have a conversation with our sailor if we want. Weird looking guy. Another thing we can do as well is, if we look around, you know, things may or may not have appeared on the ship that we can investigate. Things happen over time, as I say, you know, so sometimes you come across things and you're like, oh. And as I mentioned before as well, we also have a fully, what's the word I'm looking for there? Well, a full audio soundtrack. Have a look. What's this? The smell's appalling. I'm going to collect that. But I've got a stinking vial of something now added to my inventory. Just here. The smell's appalling. The liquid inside seems to ooze rather than to move like a normal fluid. And it has small motes floating in it. Interesting. I can still examine things if I want to as well. So anything I pick up I can examine. Put back. You can also use a controller if you so choose. So, also if I want to I can discard that, but I think I'm not going to. Oh, look at that, I fell in. I did mention there would be errors, did I not? Although I am kind of curious now because I'm over here. Errors are part of the course in game development. That's pretty fun. I like that. I wonder if I can glitch to the left. Kind of curious now. Now I'm glitching further and further away from the ship actually. What? If I escape, I'm going to drop. There you. Oh no. Okay. Let's go back to the main menu.
March the 3rd, 1930.
I think what I'm going to have to do is probably put some better bounds around the ship. However, for the minute, I'll fix it as I get to it.
Captain says
I can't imagine for a moment there aren't going to be an absolute shed load of bugs in this demo. But then again, it's just me working on it. So, I am going to quit. Although I could just get back on my ship, I suppose. One thing I need to point out, incidentally, is that there are a couple of ways of finishing this game. One involving doing nothing. Okay, so if you want to finish the demo by just standing up here and enjoying your journey, you knock yourself out. Should be able to use Ansel. Yep, there we go. So as you can see, the only problem with Ansel is that my actual character itself has no head. He also has two little pairs of hands. So, you know, that may weird you out a little bit. The reason he has these two little hands is because these are the ones that actually appear in front of his face. But, you know, he looks creepy as shit, so I'll leave him with that. And just in case you're wondering about my ship that I'm using, here she is here. Now, one thing I really quite like about Ansel is that we're locked to boundary, so that means you can't go all the way over to all the other things. So I'm quite glad about that. But you can use it to take some rather nice photos. So let's go over here and get a nice photograph of my ship. In a nice position, like that. Okay, so I've got a nice image there. Now, let's go at where's my mouse gone? I've lost it. Mouse, where are you? No. Oh, no. Big mouse. Right, light behind old Headless there. Why is it called Headless? Well, funny you should say that. Yeah, I quite like that. So now I'm going to go over here and mess around with the settings a little bit. Okay, and hide that one. Let's go to night mode. Just bring it up a bit so it's more like dawn. Add another filter. Don't want letterbox. That's rather cool, isn't it? I do love using oh my goodness, what's it called again? I do love using Ansel actually. So having it built in is great because I can take all kinds of nice photos. Okay, so game engine high quality. There we go. We can have some chromic aberration, but that tends to look a bit weird, especially if you don't know how to use it. So I'll set it to about 0.1. Got my camera. I can increase my FOV, decrease it. 60s or 80s probably fine. I think I'll have a 90. Okay, and rule of third seems to be working okay there. So let's change the resolution a little bit and snap. There we go, and it's been added to my grollery. Right then, so I'll go and find a photo of that, wherever the heck it's gone. In pictures or something? I don't know. No. How do I access it? No, that's I don't know. That just closed the game down. Ugh. I'm so bad at this. Again. I do love having my logo appearing on a splash for a game. That's incredibly,
March the 3rd,
incredibly nice. Actually.
1936.
Right, shut up. Probably take that out. It annoys me, so it's going to annoy everybody. I'm also going to leave something, probably, in the menu screen in the next edition for people who are prepared to just like sit there for hours for no apparent reason, because why the hell not? Okay, so Alt tab, Alt tab. Right. You forget what the default key is for the GeForce overlay, which is a little bit annoying. Alt-Z. Yeah, it is. Cool, cool, cool. Okay. Gallery. Open location. Have a look at it. Well, that's certainly not the right one. That would also appear to be not the right one. Good game. A quick photo. Where is my gallery? Gallery. Aha, here it is. Found you. Wow, there's some mental stuff here. This is a sphere. And this is my ship. There we go. You see, so I have a ship picture. Okay, my lovelies, I am going to go and get some other stuff done because I kind of have to. So I am